Hello, and welcome to the Point Urban Homestead. For those new to our channel, we cover a multitude of subjects here at the homestead, and today we'll be discussing container gardening. Container gardening is a simple concept of reusing containers or specifically purposed containers and pots to plant in rather than having to have a very large area commitment such as either a full-size farm or dedicated garden beds. Some bonuses to container gardening are as follows. Portability. You can simply move the containers around as needed and adjust their locations depending on weather and sun. Management. It's a lot easier to manage plants with containers as you can grow and shrink depending on how many containers you want to set up. Accessibility. Because they are containers, they can be of any size or shape, and the reuse makes it a very low cost option to get into. However, some downsides are dirt. Each container will require it and will need to be replaced or amended between every use during the seasons. Nutrition. Because of the dirt, as discussed before, there's actually limited amount of nutrients found within each of those dirt piles. So depending on the life cycle of the plant, you might actually have to go ahead and supplement the fertilizer and the nutrition within the soil with, either slow release fertilizer or additionally possibly liquid fertilizer while you're basically watering the plants or during planting and watering. Additionally, watering in general is also another huge downside. You have to monitor moisture and water levels a little bit more frequently than gardening beds because of the fact that there's actually less soil there to really retain the moisture. And normally, if it's set up properly, it is supposed to kind of seep through to the bottom. Here at the homestead, we're about 40% container gardening due to the layout of our actual home. We use 5-gallon HDPE plastic buckets, otherwise known as food grade buckets, to plant in. In addition to that, we also use, flower pots and other recycled alternatives. A really fun one that we also use too is ice cream containers. So the really large ice cream containers that's usually sold with the big tubs of ice cream here locally. Well, guess what? They're HDPE food grade containers. So basically, usually they sell them pretty relatively cheap. Drill some holes on the bottom, and basically they're good to go. So, with that said, here at the homestead, we usually place all of these on our south-facing wall. Basically, provides the most amount of sun. And from an upcycling perspective, we actually place down used wooden pallets of wood to basically raise these containers off of the ground so that there's proper water and drainage that'll basically seep through rather than just kind of having them sit on the dirt. We also make sure that the soil used in these containers have proper nutrients by either buying proper container or potting soil or buying general planting soil or topsoil and basically supplementing it with some type of slow release fertilizer. This kind of gives the plant a bit of more of a head start. A few great plants that actually worked for us in the past here are potatoes, tomatoes, and peppers for container gardening. Tomatoes do require a little bit more room as they get larger, so please plan accordingly. If you're just starting out and planning on buying a few of these buckets, please remember to drill holes at the bottom of the buckets to allow drainage. A good start is basically a 5 to about 6 holes in either star or hexagon pattern and about 3/4 inch to an inch in diameter to basically allow proper drainage of that water from where the plant is all the way down and through to make sure that the roots and not only just the top is actually getting proper drainage. Without these holes, you might actually get improper drainage, and it's both ways, right? Not only is you're not getting maybe enough water to the actual plant roots, but then if you didn't actually make these holes, you might end up with an even worse problem, which is root rot. So basically all the water sits at the bottom of the bucket and basically rots out the plant root. And obviously, this is really bad for potatoes, right? Or any type of root vegetable where they'd be sitting in it anyways. Um, do you use container gardening today at your homestead? If so, drop a comment below and maybe make a comment on what are your favorite plants to plant. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more, hit that like and subscribe button.